Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon, and I'm sure you've heard the news by now that Batgirl has been canceled. David Zaslav over at Warner Brothers is making some really drastic cuts, and he's definitely chopping DC, cutting Batgirl. The word on the street is they're probably going to axe the Flash or substantially rework the Flash. This is really kind of unprecedented to have a movie that is almost complete, as I understand it, and was heavily promoted earlier this year, just get axed like this, just get shelved. It's not going to be released. As of today, they're saying they're not going to release it. A lot of people pissed off they're not going to release it. There are conflicting stories as to what the problem is. Some people are saying it's purely a financial decision. That's the official explanation, right? But the word on the street is the movie was absolutely abysmal. It was brand damaging. It was terrible. In fact, I think the word they used in the New York Post was it was irredeemable. Irredeemable. We're not talking about another comic book franchise. We're talking about this god-awful Batgirl movie. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Over 273,000 subs. Thank you for the support. Speaking of support, there are ways to support Clownfish TV. We want to branch out into our own website. If you go to clownshishtv.com, we're actually putting more articles up. There's going to be a lot more content out there, both by myself and Geeky and other contributors. So we're trying to build out Clownfish TV to be a throwback to the pop culture sites of about 10 or 12 years ago. Balanced and based. That's what we want. And also, we're going to be launching another graphic novel project pretty soon on Indiegogo, Crimson Wren, which is the prequel to Shadowbinders, written by Geeky and myself, drawn by Jose Garcia. This is the prequel to Shadowbinders. It's almost done. We only have a couple pages that need to be drawn yet, and it needs to be lettered and pre-pressed and all of that, but it is very, very close to being finished. Jose's been working on it for, about a year now. And it's over 130 pages. It's going to be hardcover. If you want to support independent media, independent comics, help us over on Indiegogo. Sign up to be notified when we launch. Hopefully this week or next week, we're going to launch this one. I'll put a link in the comments. And again, go out to clownshishtv.com. So let's talk about this. This is crazy. So we've said before that David Zaslav is going to disembowel DC Comics. People said, you guys are overreacting. Clownfish TV, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, you clowns. He's not gonna do jack squat. He's gonna no. This is the first thing that's going to happen. I think he's going to go through and basically cancel any of the upcoming DCEU movies that look like dog shit, that look like they're not going to make money. Now, Batgirl was supposed to be an HBO Max exclusive. I think it had a lower budget than like The Flash or some of the other movies. But even The Flash now, they're talking might get canceled. He could go through and just be like, you know what? We're just going to do a hard reset of the DCEU because nothing that's on the slate right now is going to make money. And we got to make money. Canceling CW shows, DC Comics, if you're working at DC Comics, right? I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy here, but you might want to keep your resume updated because I have a very strong feeling that it's going to start with the movies because they're the most expensive, and it's going to work its way down to the comic books and, everything else, the video games. Now, it wasn't just Batgirl that got canceled. The Scoob sequel got canceled too, and that one apparently was almost done. There were animators complaining about it on Twitter that the movie was almost done. And they're still canceling it. Batgirl was basically in the can, and they're still canceling it. David Zaslav does not give a shit. David Zaslav is like, I'd rather take the L than sink more money into these dog shit movies. I mean, that's basically what's going on here. Again, they're going to try to put a good spin on it because, people were like, yay, we've got a progressive Batgirl movie that's coming out, and hooray for our side. And also, we can't wait for progressive Supergirl and all these other, look, there was talk that they wanted to turn the DC EU into the DC SHIU, like the MCU, and they were going to replace Batman with Batgirl, Superman with Supergirl, Wonder Woman can stay. Sure, why not? But that was apparently the plan. That was before David Zaslav. That's not going to happen. I think David Zaslav, and again, he brought Alan Horn back in, and Alan Horn was there during Harry Potter and the Nolan films. And I think his thought process is like, we've got Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. What the hell are we doing wrong? What are we doing wrong? We should be making billions of dollars off of Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman movies. And what you're doing wrong, Mr. Zaslav, or what your company has been doing wrong, is they've been massively mishandling these characters, and the DCEU is all over the place. Like, there's no consistency. There's nobody running this thing. We don't know what the hell's going on. So let's talk about this. I believe it was the New York Post that broke it. Johnny Olinsky, I think that's how you pronounce it. DC Comics Batgirl will be completely shelved by Warner Brothers, a top Hollywood source told the Post. Shelved, like the Roger Corman Fantastic Four movie. Shelved like the day the clown cried. Shelved like buried forever. And we're going to talk. People are not happy. They're already rioting right now because it's not fair. It's not fair. This movie's getting canceled. The reportedly $70 million movie, source said the budget was actually more than $100 million, which was doing test screenings for audiences in anticipation of a late 2020 debut, would rank among the most expensive cinematic cast-offs ever. Yes, this movie was almost done, as I understand it. Those tests were said to be so poorly received by moviegoers that the studio decided to cut its losses and run for the sake of the brand's future. For the sake of the brand's future. It's a DC disaster. They think an unspeakable Batgirl is going to be irredeemable, the source said. The Post had reached out to Warner Brothers for comment. Yeah. So this is bad. This is bad. Now, that is what was told to the Post. Of course, their official story is it simply to save money, that this is an HBO Max thing, and they're going to focus, they're going to pivot to theatrical movies again. And that whole HBO Max thing, we're going to do another video, I think, Geeky and I, on HBO Max, because it's kind of a disaster right now. But they said this is their official explanation. The decision not to release Batgirl reflects our leadership's strategic shift as it relates to the DC universe and to HBO Max. Leslie Grace is an incredibly talented actor, and this decision is not a reflection of her performance. We're incredibly grateful to the filmmakers of Batgirl and Scoob, Holiday Haunt, and their respective casts, and we hope to collaborate with everyone again in the future. The fact that they're canceling movies that are done or near done is like, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. The decision to axe Batgirl, is coming from CBR, sent ripples across the DCEU fandom as many began to question Warner Brothers' motives. Several insiders suggest the movie, which sported a budget of $90 million, I've heard anywhere from 70 to 100, was largely complete to the point that test screenings were actively being held. A recent report claims the project was terminated for a tax write-off, but this has yet to officially be corroborated by Warner Brothers. An executive that works at a rival studio said, worked in this town for 3 decades. This is some unprecedented shit right here. Unprecedented shit. Yeah, it is. It is. It's crazy. And yeah, I think that, maybe Alan Horn came in and maybe they showed what they're working on to Alan Horn. And he's like, this is all dog shit. This is dog shit. If you release this Batgirl movie, it's game over. And now they're also reportedly looking at The Flash. Of course, Ezra Miller in trouble every other freaking week. And people are like, what the hell is going on? That they cancel Batgirl and they, get rid of Amber Heard or whatever. And they don't do anything about Ezra Miller, who's gone radio silent, by the way. Like, do we know where Ezra Miller is? Did they then zap themselves into another dimension like they said they're going to? So the word on the street is they might cancel the Flash movie as well. And this thing has been a disaster since day one. One, nobody's going to freaking pay to go see Ezra Miller in a starring role. Nobody. Nobody is going to pay to see him in a starring role. The only reason people would go see the Flash movie is for Michael Keaton as Batman. And that's it. And that's been the marketing for this movie. We're not seeing a whole lot of Barry Allen. We're seeing a whole lot of Michael Keaton as Batman. So just do another Michael Keaton Batman movie and call it a day. You know, that's all people want. They don't want freaking Ezra Miller. So now the word is they might look at this too. And honestly, I think all bets are off in regard to DC. Actually, all bets are off in regard to anything at Warner at this point, because David Zaslav, I mean, this is a guy who cut CNN Plus after 3 weeks. He didn't even give it time to be profitable. He's like, no, this is not going to make money. Long term, this is not going to make money. Let's cut our losses. Let's not throw good money after bad. And that's what's happening here. This movie is going to be dog shit. It's not going to make money. Let's cancel it. And I really do think that, especially with all the controversy around Ezra Miller, we're going to see the same thing happen. I think we'll see whatever's been announced. You know, Black Adam will get a release, obviously. Aquaman 2 will, with or without Amber Heard. Don't know what the hell is going on there. And then after that, I expect a full reboot of the DCEU. I think he's going to go in, he's going to hire somebody to run it and be like, no, we're going to make Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman movies that all make a lot of money because we have the best superhero characters in history and we've pissed them away. You know, I mean, what an opportunity. Like, Batman movies, Superman movies, Wonder Woman movies, they all need to be making $1 billion at the box office, right? Now, they've got the Batman, but they also need to do something more cohesive because I think he's thinking they want to make a DCEU like the MCU, hopefully without the 50 million, streaming shows in there, which I don't think is going to happen anyway. It sounds to me like they're going to minimize HBO Max. So yeah, it's a disaster. So of course, Twitter's pissed off. Heather Ontos, first one that comes up on Yahoo Entertainment. Talk about waking up and choosing violence. Oh, because of Ezra Miller. Yeah, no, that's actually a pretty fair. I think that's a fair statement. They're going to cancel Batgirl, but they're going to keep the Flash. Matt Ramos, Leslie Grace, Michael Keaton, Brendan Fraser. All of them had to be seen in Batgirl. If they're willing to set $130 million on fire to not release Batgirl or Scoob, then Warner Brothers have absolutely zero excuses not to scrap the Flash, given the circumstances surrounding Ezra Miller. I agree. Plus, the movie's going to be dog shit, and the only reason people are going to see it is Michael Keaton. The amount of money spent on it cannot function as an excuse anymore. Yeah, I think Michael Keaton was supposed to be in... Yeah, he was supposed to be in the Batgirl movie, too. Like, I think look, people want Michael Keaton Batman. Just, don't have him, writing or boosting up these other characters nobody gives a shit about. Nobody wants to sit through an Ezra Miller Flash movie just to watch Michael Keaton Batman. Nobody's going to sit through a Batgirl origin just to watch Michael Keaton Batman. Just do a Michael Keaton Batman movie. Do Batman Beyond or something. Dark Knight Returns, something. People would go see it if it was good. If it wasn't dog shit. The fact they're shelving Batgirl, but still planning to release the Flash movie and praying somehow no one has read a single Ezra Miller story is a choice. Do you realize how bad a movie has to be for it to have a notable existing IP and not get released? Like, DC is still moving forward with an Ezra Miller fronted flick. That is true. Warner Brothers not canceling the Flash after all the Ezra Miller bullshit, but they canceled Batgirl. Would rather see this than the Flash. Exactly how bad does a superhero movie have to be for a studio to waste $90 million and not run it? Could it be so bad it ruins the genre for good? If so, it's got to come out yesterday. I think that's what they're afraid of. I think Zaslav, again, is looking at the long-term plan or lack of a plan. Is like, we're not going to replace Batman and Superman with Batgirl and Supergirl. It's not going to happen. It's brand damaging. It's not going to happen. Movies, they're too bad to release, should be released just on the strength of them being too bad to release. I agree. I'd kind of like to see it now, just like the Fantastic Four. It'll live on in the curiosity ratings alone. This is Warner Brothers trying to pull reverse Morbius and get people excited to see it. No, I'm afraid I'm not fooled. I know this movie is just a normal amount of bad. Keaton, kill all the shit. I'm out. I knew I shouldn't have done it. That might actually play into it because he is the connective tissue between these movies, isn't he? I'm not gonna waste my shot at bringing my version of Batman back on these dog shit movies. Sadly, we'll never see it. Gonna have to go to Comic-Con and buy a shitty VHS of it. Warner Brothers planning out their DC cinematic universe. Check this shit out, mother effer. Slide 1 foot out from under me and fall my ass. It's not clear what kind of move I was trying to do. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. I think he just knows, Zaslav just knows that it's not working. It's definitely not working. Turn it all off. Shred the entire universe and start over. No more soft reboots, redo the whole thing. I'm dead serious. That's probably what's going to happen. That's probably what's going to happen. Gail Simone, very salty. This is, I believe, her version of Batgirl. It's baffling and sad. No more Batgirl. No more Batgirl. Yeah, they're going to start over. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. So anyway, guys, there it is. I think DC is getting a hard reset, and I think it's going to affect the comics as well. I think that Zaslav is going to look at the comics and be like, why are we publishing so many comic books that don't sell well? You know, why don't we just publish like 12 books a month that all sell over 100,000 copies, and then maybe job some other lesser characters or whatever out to other publishers that want to piss with it? Because we got to make money. Gonna wrap this up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.